Hey everyone, Dr. Vernita Glenn White here, known as Dr. V, and I thank you so much for joining me today. I am the CEO and founder of V.I.B.E Institute, where we help women leaders vibrate higher in their influence, brilliance, and excellence as they bridge the gap between life and career so they can show up more powerful for those they lead, love, and serve the most. I am also the founder of the CEO Leader course, which is the culturally empowered and optimistic leader, and the Lead for Ultimate Impact and Influence course, where in both of those, I take leaders on a journey so they can be their most powerful selves. As you can see, I love leadership. And I'm not talking about the leadership as in the structured leadership, the principles of leadership and the types of leadership, even though that's important, and I talk about that in some of those courses, but it's mainly about internal leadership, because I believe you need internal leadership before you can exhibit external leadership. You must lead yourself before you can lead others. Now, I know you looked at the thumbnail and you were like, why is she looking like that? Well, let me tell you. I've conducted several, I was about to say seminars, webinars over the last few weeks about, helping leaders. And my background mainly is education leadership. But I believe some of the principles that I teach and talk about can be applied to other areas as well. But this particular one was for the administrators, in the school system. So I've heard several things because I listen for common threads. And they all had the same issue, but it was just the way that this last person said to me, this last participant, that made me make the face like, what you talking about, Willis? And what she said was, oh my gosh, I need this, my district need this, we would love to work with you. I need to take this back so we can get in contact with you, this, that, and the other. And I said, yeah, I totally agree. I can't wait to hear back from you all. And I thought it was mainly about the topics that I was discussing with her about what you get, what we go through, and all of that. She said, yeah, that was good, but we don't get different training from administrators. Like, we don't have our own specialized trainings. And I said, well, what do you mean? She said, all of our trainings, we are in the classroom with the teacher. Like, the teachers and the administrators get the same training? She said, yes. I said, well, maybe there's some of them are blanket trainings where everyone needs to be a part of a particular training, but clearly there must at least be a breakout or something. She said, nope, this is what we do. Like, if we want to learn about something, we go in there with the teachers and that's our training. I said, wow. So I used to be in K-12, worked in K-12 system for a number of years before I transitioned. And I don't remember it being like that. I remember having separate trainings like teachers, coaches, district specialists, assistant principals had their own meetings and all of that. And I asked a few of my administrative friends who are spread out across the country, and they were like, no, a lot of districts do it that way because of time and resources. I said, well, that shouldn't matter, because you need to train and develop leaders differently than you do with teachers, or train and develop supervisors and managers more so than you do the teammates or just the employees or entry-level employees. And they said, I hear you, but all the schools don't have the same resources. And they were like, you have to stop looking from the lens of where you used to work. And you worked at a large school district. And my school district, I think, is number 10 in the US right now, as far as size of the population of students and workers and all of that. And I started thinking like, wow, so you mean to tell me that teachers and administrators are in the same room growing together when they're supposed to be steps above and guiding these people? And I was like, that's not how this works. How am I going to look to you for guidance, and you were just in the same seminar with me, and you do this multiple times? Now I'm going to start looking at you like I can do your job. There's no reason for me to listen to you because we're growing together. And I just don't think that's right. You should not be growing right alongside your team. As a leader, you should be 5 to 10, if not more steps ahead. Well, you don't want to get too far where they can't see you and relate to you, but you should be steps ahead of the people that you are leading and guiding. This hits home even more as I start looking more into like the business coaching world, the personal development or life coaching world, where people who look for other people for guidance, the coaches they've reached this certain level, whether that's in money, business, mindset, whatever the case may be. They look to these people and say, okay, I want to be right there with you. They're not in the same seminar classes. They're not showing up in leadership 101 together saying, all right, I'm gonna take this class with you, but I still want you to follow me and learn with me. That doesn't make sense. Anybody who's a true leader or coach or has someone following them, they are steps ahead of them, because how am I going to show you a pathway if we're on the same path together? Like if I turn around, I'm going to see the same steps. And if I'm not ahead of you, I can't tell you where to go. So I hope that this trend stops, really. Even if you can't, as a district or school or whatever company, can't bring someone in, this is virtual now. You can get a group of people on Zoom at a smaller cost, because you don't have to physically go somewhere, and learn and learn with your peers. You know, if you're the only principal or assistant principal in the school, I'm pretty sure the one down the street has another principal and assistant principal. Get together in a group, sign up for coaching or consulting, and do it virtual and learn together instead of being in the room with your teachers. And I know some people say, well, they should know what the teacher is learning. While part of that is true, they can go in there and monitor. And I know some people send administrators in there to monitor teachers like their children. I don't do that. Like, treat them like adults. While some of them may not act like adults, for the most part, they are adults and they know how to be responsible for their learning, when you make it worth their while and relevant. But that's another topic. But yes, you can go in there and monitor so you can hear what's going on, so you'll know how to lead and guide them. But you need your own separate so you can grow. You don't want to be on the same page. You don't want them to lose respect for you, because now we're growing together. So yes, stop that trend. Get with your peer groups. It's power in having a peer group, because there are things that maybe a classroom teacher is, they're dealing with things on a level where you're not there anymore. So even if you do go into the same trainings, your lens is different. You're not hearing things the same way, because your responsibilities are all the way over here, and two different things. Also, it's just different. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to wrap this up because it's just different. So if you're out there listening and you have your leaders going into the same trainings with your teachers, or your managers going into the same trainings with the floor team, or however you say it in corporate, and that's the only way they get trained and developed, please stop that today. Please reach out to someone and ask for separate training. If you are in the K-12 industry, you can reach out to me. You know, we can have a conversation about how to break this up, because you want to empower your leaders. You want them to lead with influence and impact, not to just use my course, but that's what you want them to do. You don't want them to keep looking over at each other and say, there's nothing you can tell me because I just learned what you learned, right? So that's all I have for you today. I'm going to wrap this up. I am Dr. V. Thank you so much for listening and learning with me. If you want to know more, you can go to drvernitafreegift.com, which is DRVERNITA freegift.com. You'll know about the 21 habits of empowered and influential women leaders, but you can use that for any person leader if you so you can be empowered by that, and we can connect that way. Or you can send me an email, which I'll have all of the information below, and I would love to hear from you. All right, so that's all I have for you. I will see you next time, and yeah, can't wait to hear from you. Bye.